And being neutral and having access to all these aspects of self, it's necessary to exist in a space beyond judgment and self-criticism. This stops the flow of creativity. If you're judging yourself, if you're analyzing things, you're not allowing the magic to come out. It's like a person writing a song. When you write the song, you write. You write and you write and you write. You have fun and you play. You do the editing later. You do the editing afterwards. Then you can get your mind involved and start spell checking things and adjusting things. But once again, as you express yourself, it's necessary for you to purely express yourself beyond analysis, beyond the mind identity, beyond criticism, beyond attempting to correct things. Once again, judgment is very short-sighted. That which you think is wrong, a person will start something and then the mind will go crazy. Oh, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, until the end result presents itself and you realize there was nothing wrong about what was taking place. You just weren't patient. You were using the ignorance of the mind to judge what it saw at the present moment and not allowing the whole experience to unfold. You ain't see, like they had to finish the picture first before it was time for you to judge it. You judged it in the middle of them drawing the picture. And then you sat there with your judgment, and then at the end, when it's a beautiful picture, you sit there, I thought it was something else. You was thinking, that was the problem. I thought you did this wrong. I'm like, look, if you would just stop judging and accept the experience and let it pan out, let it unfold, you would have saw the perfection in the experience. You would have saw the beauty. But you was too busy pointing out what you thought was wrong. And it wasn't even finished yet. Same thing with your life. Oh, this wrong. I shouldn't have did this. And why this happened. And it's like, look, the picture ain't finished yet. You already labeling stuff in the picture. They just started drawing the picture. You just started creating. Oh, this ain't right. It's like, look, you don't see the full picture, beloved. It's still unfolding. The movie is still happening. It's too early for you to start pointing at stuff and saying this wrong and that's wrong and they wrong and this ain't right and you spelled this wrong and so on. Like, look, just relax. This is what comes with confidence. This is what comes with poise, courage, acceptance, the ability to sit there and observe in complete trust beyond feeling as if something's going to go wrong, beyond fear. Because everything about fear is telling you that something's wrong or it's going to be a mistake and you need to fix it before it keep going. Like, no, just sit down somewhere. This voice is like, look, just sit down somewhere. You don't know how it's going to work. You don't know how things are going to happen. It's too early for you to sit here and tell people or tell yourself this is wrong or you're not doing it the right way. Relax. Let the experience unfold. Let infinite intelligence do its work. You're ignorant to the nature or the modus operandi of what's taking place. So, of course, you are not in a position to say what's right or wrong. Because you're ignorant to the nature of infinite intelligence. Life is still unfolding. The picture is not finished. And the voice up here want to say something's wrong. It's like, sit down somewhere, the picture not finished. The experience hasn't unfolded yet. You don't know what this is for. You don't know why this person in your life, you don't know why they called you. You don't know why they asked you to go to the store with them real quick. You don't know why they asked you to borrow $5. You don't know. The picture ain't finished yet. Are you confident enough to trust the process? Everything that's being presented to you is being presented to you on purpose by God, directly. And the ego will sit here and question love. Fear questioning love. Well, God, why this? I don't know if this is right. I don't know if this is right, God. Why you presenting this to me? Why they taking this away from me? Why they doing this, God? You don't know. You don't see the rest of the picture yet. Relax and enjoy the process. Calm down. Ground yourself. Yeah, absolutely, Dirk. Just like that. You don't see the picture yet. Humble yourself. You're in the process of self-realization. You don't know the modus operandi yet. That's a part of the journey. You're supposed to observe the unknown and allow realizations to take place. Allow yourself to be enlightened to what's taking place right now. There's a lot of policing that we have to do inside. It's easier for a king to control a kingdom than control himself. No doubt. That's how that works. It's easier for a king to control a kingdom than it is for them to control themselves. That's what that means. Self-control, self-confidence, self-esteem. Whose job is it to trust God? Whose job is it to know God? You. Your job. The only way to know is to sit down and take notes. To get up in gratitude and do the work, show up and take notes. The only difference between a student and a teacher is the teacher know they're a student. The teacher know they are a damn student. So they never fix their face to say what's wrong. Because they're learning. They're still coming into self-realization. So we get off our high horse about all the stuff that we feel is right and wrong, and we let go. Because once again, the ego, it's only the ego that desires to be right. Only the ego desires to be right. And one thing you need to know about the ego is the ego would rather you die physically than to be wrong. That's how bullheaded the ego is. The ego would rather you die physically than to be wrong. It's a dangerous game. That's a dangerous game. Right and wrong, yeah, no doubt. Right and wrong, that's a dangerous game. Because once again, that ego rather you die than be wrong. It would rather you die physically than to be wrong. Nah, it's a tool. It's a tool. It can be. It can be. The more you nurture it, the more calm it'll be, the more you get to work with the tool. The more you work with the tool, the more, or at least the more you heal, the more you can work with the tool. Because it has its place. It's a beautiful tool of manifestation and creation. Once again, we're not trying to do away with the ego. We're not trying to kill the ego and all the other jazz. And that ain't got nothing to do with none of this. It's just important for you to recognize who the master is, who's in control. This has its purpose. It's just not telling you what to do. That's not its purpose. The ego's purpose is not telling you what to do. The ego's purpose is not about finding what's right and wrong. That's not the ego's purpose. The ego's purpose is about making decisions. Or analyzing decisions. Of course, the heart is the decision maker. But analyzing decisions and situations and things being presented presently, that's the ego's job. The heart got the decision. This is a servant and a tool. This is the master. This is where masters live. In complete silence, beyond all that talking. In complete silence, in complete presence. The true self is sitting here in the heart space, in the meditative space, with mouth closed. So all that talking that you're hearing, that's all coming from up here. That's all from the frequencies around you. Master the ego by accepting the ego. Master the ego by accepting the ego. In acceptance of the ego, you can observe the ego. And realize that it's going to receive the the words and information and thought patterns and so on and so forth constantly. But you get to decide which ones you entertain. You get to decide what to analyze. The silent you gets to decide what to analyze or invest energy into, or what thought patterns we want to entertain. You get to decide. The silent you, then once again, the only true you there is the silent you. I ain't say that, girl. You know what I said. Immerse yourself in that silence. Beyond judgment and self-criticism is the process. It's important to simply observe what you're doing. Observe what you're doing. It's a beautiful experience to observe what you're doing. And when we say observe, it's about allowing the observation part to be the most important piece. Yeah. Allow the observation part to be the most important piece. Allow that to get most of your energy, most of your attention when you're doing things. Play the game. Do what you're doing. Like write, create music, paint, dance. But once again, in that creative space, invest more energy in observing. Invest more energy to being present in observation of the activity. This is complete acceptance. When you're participating in a process in the physical, but there's a greater investment in your third person observation of the activity. To do the stuff, to carry out the activity, but be more invested in observing yourself participate in the activity. This is you observing from the higher self. That's possible. It happens all the time when sometimes when I write, sometimes when I'm rhyming or recording or performing. I'm more invested in the observation of the act itself than I am invested in the actual act. It feels like that sometimes when once again, when you get on stage. I mean, for me personally, if I get on stage in front of a large audience or what have you, there's a sense of me blacking out. I kind of step away from my body and things are on autopilot where I'm more observant to what I'm doing versus in my body doing what I'm doing. This is complete acceptance. This is experiencing expansion as it occurs. This observation. This is you experiencing expansion as it occurs. You opening your heart and engaging with these different attributes within yourself that are unlocked via your ability to accept the moment. Absolutely, Deb. It feels like flying. You're in the act of doing something in the physical. However, there's a large portion of the self that's within the God aspect of self, observing you set yourself on fire and do the absolute most. That happens sometimes when I'm here, talking to you. There's an observation of me doing the work or saying what I'm saying and expressing the self. It's just that there's more of an observation of me carrying out the activity than it is me actually doing it. This is me allowing God to work through me. This is allowing me, this is me allowing the heavens to work through me as an individual. Allowing the energy allowing the energy to be expressed without filter. This is an efficient awakened operator in a physical body. This is an awakened, efficient operator in a physical body. Participating, being in the body, doing the work, carrying out the emotions, feeling the stuff. But then when one is ignited, when one is on fire amongst their own excitement and passion, the experience becomes third person, because we take a step back and allow the fire to be expressed, allow the energy to be expressed, allow source energy to be expressed through us as a vehicle. This is when we realize that it's not us who do the work, it's God that does the work through us. Consciously recognizing that allows for more and more and more of that omnipotence, that intelligence to express itself through you. Sometimes in ways that will surprise you, sometimes in ways that will be unexpected. At times that sometimes you can't even control it. You be in a situation or a conversation and all of a sudden the fire strikes and it's there, and you're actually looking at yourself talk, looking at yourself say something, looking at yourself express yourself with great compassion, with great passion and eloquence. The more this stance is taken, the more this opportunity and the more this phenomenon takes place. And eventually, you just don't turn it off. Eventually, yeah, you still participate. You still in the experience and engage. And, of course, you feel the sensations of your activity or what have you. It's just that eventually it just comes on and goes off again and comes on again and on again and on again. And you never know when it's going to happen. But once again, you're going with the flow and you're opening your heart enough to allow it to happen. And then it just happens. And there's conversation, there's beauty, there's efficiency, there's effectiveness, there's intuition, there's genius expressing itself and allowing that to express itself through your physical vehicle. I've done crazy things on stage that I surprise myself with sometimes, but I was engaged and I was on fire. I was wide open. It's like I caught the Holy Ghost. And it actually was doing what it did. And I was looking at it and I enjoyed what it was doing. I wanted to give myself a round of applause when I finished. I wasn't attempting to control things. Once again, less control, the more power.